We all know how sometimes the last thing we want to do is get up and work on the thing we have been trying to start, like exercising daily, or to keep showing up for something we have been doing for a while, stay motivated long enough to finish that task. And since what drives us to stay motivated is as individual as each one of us, I'm going to show you 3 ways to get out of the rut that you can adapt to your own specific situations and style. And we will be going from the strategies to deal with feeling not motivated enough to even get up and start doing something to the more complex situations which start affecting the quality of our life. The first one is to help start taking action when we have been procrastinating for whatever reason. Getting started is usually the hardest part, and the more we keep shifting it forward, the more unmotivated we get towards that task. And so the question is how to take that first action step, how to get the swing of motivation going, because motivation is actually something that comes from taking action. Every goal we accomplish, no matter how big or small, releases dopamine in our brain. It's the brain chemical responsible for feeling ready for action, for feeling motivated. So we finish a small task and it makes us feel, okay, I did that, I think I can handle a bit more. And so the momentum keeps building. And the simplest way to help take that first step is to attach something that we enjoy to the task we have to do. For example, if you like music, play some focus music while working on a project. Or invite a friend to come along when running errands to make it feel more like a friend's day out, make it feel less of a chore. We like to do things that we enjoy, so making the task a bit more fun or a little less drab can help take that first action step and get the ball rolling. Or try the 10-minute rule. Set the timer for 10 minutes and start with the option to stop working as soon as the 10 minutes are up. The 10-minute limit makes it feel easy and manageable, and so doesn't need much effort to begin. Plus, by the end of the time, we usually feel it wasn't as bad as we were imagining it to be, and so we could keep doing it for a bit longer. By the way, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Nandita and I'm on a journey to have a bigger say in how things look in my life. And if that's something you too would like in, then this channel is for you. It's always not that straightforward. Sometimes there's so much to do that it overwhelms us into inaction, makes us feel tired even before starting. Sometimes, instead of starting on something I know would take up a lot of effort, I tend to do anything else just to fill up the time so that I can justify it to myself that I was so busy that I didn't find the time to work on that. This is so because our brain likes to save as much energy as possible and so use shortcuts called heuristics whenever possible. And that's why our first instincts aren't always reliable, but that's going in a different direction and is a discussion for another day. Right now, we just need to know that this energy saving bias of our brain doesn't like anything complex because thinking and processing uses up a lot of energy. And when we come up against something tough, something that requires a lot of work, we can find very creative ways to justify why we aren't working on that. I did a video about techniques to overcome procrastination, which you can check out to get more ideas. I will link it in the description below. But right now, these are the 2 techniques to get things moving when feeling not motivated enough even to begin doing something. First is for the situation when we want to do something, plan on maybe what we have always wanted to do, but the time or situation wasn't right. Or no, we want to reach a certain goal, but just can't seem to find the time to start working on it. The solution for this is to create a plan on how we are going to go about it with clear action steps. This will make the goal less vague and we won't have to worry about what all it might need to reach there. And broken into small milestones or small goals, it also feels less daunting, like, okay, so I need to get that done first. Yeah, I think I can handle that. And we become more ready to get moving, start taking action. The second one is when we know clearly what needs to be done, but there's so much to do that we kind of feel drained out even before starting. The idea with this too is kind of similar. Make it feel less complex, easier with closer milestones to feel that rush of achievement. Break the action steps into kind of no-brainer chunks so that they don't demand much thinking or effort. For a very simple example, let's say you have been shifting the task of tidying up your room to the next day for about 10 days now, just because it feels like there's so much to do. The way to get started would be to make a list of all the areas that need tidying up, like set the bed, organize the desk, organize the wardrobe, vacuum. Together, these tasks might sound like a bit of work, but individually, they sound very doable. There are also times when the problem isn't the size or quality of the task or our willingness to take action. It's about feeling not motivated enough to keep showing up because our heart isn't in it anymore. But before going to that, if you're finding this helpful, like the video to keep it handy and also to make it easier for it to reach other people who might find it useful. Appreciate that. The goals we set ourselves, no matter whether it's small like getting something done around the house or something big like life milestone decision, how these goals speak to our heart matter a lot when it comes to feeling motivated or not motivated to put in the effort that they demand, especially on tough days when it's not going the way we expected it to. Though the ideal solution would be to ask why before creating any goal. Why and how does it matter to us so that conviction pulls us through the tough times. But going through daily life, it isn't always possible to remember asking yourself that before saying yes to anything, especially when it's not something monumental like a career choice or some other big decision. So to work with an already committed decision, look at the bigger picture. Try to find how what you have to do plays a role in your life, matters to you, like showing up for a side hustle or part-time job. Those are the things where you don't always like what you have to do, but when you consider it as something that's making it possible for you, even in a small way, to do what you want to do, it makes it easier to put in that extra effort and keep showing up. But when it's something that's important to us but still showing up consistently feels tough, it's usually because at some level we feel either it's demanding things that needs us to step out of our comfort zone, and so we feel a kind of resistance, or it's the doubt and uncertainty of how things are going to turn out, those thoughts about what could go wrong. But that's our evolutionary negative bias, our tendency to fixate on the negatives in any situation because that's what gave us a better chance at survival. So, to override that and balance the outlook, bring the possibilities and potential into play. Think and clearly imagine, what if this does work out? What if I can pull this off? What would that mean for me? When we balance our outlook, it makes us more willing to take that first step to get things moving or to put things back in motion. Go over here to know how to stop missing out on life, how to stop being afraid of failure, to keep showing up for the things that you believe in. Because as Steve Jobs said, if you're working on something that you really care about, you don't have to be pushed. The vision pulls you. I hope you found this video helpful. Take care and I'll see you in the next video.